to our next one, and when we're about to show a film. But before we do that, I'd like to read you a letter. It's from the Mujahideen of the Islamic Emirate. First warning, Rafiq Ullah. You're informed to stop spying to Americans. If you don't stop, you yourself will be responsible for your blood. And the stamp said, Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, Mullah Jalani Saeed, Commander-in-Chief of the Kandahar attacks. Now, I just need to explain that Rafiq Ullah is still very much alive and working in Afghanistan, but two of his staff are not. And one of them, whose name is Jose, at the age of 19, a field worker was shot, and one of her colleagues, a field supervisor, also shot. It's difficult to kind of put this alongside some of the other stories we've got. But we want to play a film back from ESOMAR because it was their nomination, which is why this particular organisation, ORCA, was nominated.
Hi everyone, my name is Finn Rao. I'm the Director General of ESOMAR, and can I just say that I'm absolutely thrilled to be talking to you, albeit via video today, to put forward our nomination for the Ginny Valentine Badge of Courage. And can I also say what a fantastic idea the Badge of Courage is. I think all of us strive in our daily work to celebrate research and celebrate the contributions that research makes to business and all aspects of business. But oftentimes I think we forget that that contribution can come at a personal cost. Sometimes health, sometimes time, and sometimes even life, as I think our nomination will show. In any case, we're thrilled to be putting forward a nominee, and I hope the evening is going to be a fantastic one for you. ESOMAR is incredibly lucky in that, as a global organisation, it spans and it experiences research in many, many different parts of the world. And I think it is also true to say that from our perspective, as we sit here in Western Europe, which is a civilized part of the globe, we often forget that perhaps other parts of the world are not as regulated, not as civilized, and that conducting business in those parts of the globe is very, very difficult. I guess it's a bit like Sky News. You know, we can sit in the comfort of our sitting room and watch the reports from war zones, wherever they may be, and sip our cup of coffee and say, goodness, what a terrible place that may be. And yet we oftentimes don't consider the hardship that those reporters have to undergo in order to bring us the stories. Our nomination is a little bit along those lines. Rafiq Kakar, who runs a company called ORCA in Afghanistan, is our nomination for this award. Rafiq's company is involved in collecting information from all of the different parts of Afghanistan to try and provide up-to-date data to the decision makers that are responsible for rebuilding, reconstructing and developing Afghanistan into the country that everybody wants it to be. However, as we all know, it is a war zone. On the one hand there is the existing government, and on the other hand there are the Taliban, both of whom have very different views on what the country should be and what it should look like in the coming years. Rafiq, on an almost daily basis, receives threats, not only to his own personal safety, but also to those of his employees. Threats against their lives, unless they report the kinds of information that either one or other party wish to have publicised. But they are strict abiders of the ICC ESOMAR Code of Conduct. And in their efforts to produce objective findings, representative findings from all aspects of Afghanistan, they have unfortunately had a number of their members of staff killed during the collection of information to provide the data that those decision makers need. So our nomination for the Ginny Valentine Badge of Courage this year goes to Rafiq Kakar, who has to undergo not just threat to life and to limb, but to his entire staff in the collection and in the celebration of research and what it can do for Afghanistan. So, to all the nominees, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I wish each and every one of you success, and I sincerely hope that this award is celebrated for a long time hereafter. Have a great evening, and thank you very much indeed.
Magnus on the spot.
It's quite difficult to comment after that sort of evidence, really. And I have to be honest, it was quite difficult for the judges when we got all their submissions to have that on your desk. Number one, that story compared with everything else, and all the other entries are wonderful. But it was a challenge for us to sort of to be able to compare them, really. And of course, the demonstration of bravery is total, really. This is not bravery in some other guise. This is proper bravery. This is bravery which is to do with people risking their lives on a daily basis. And in some ways, one of the most awe-inspiring things about the whole case wasn't that he and his organisation was brave, but that they continue to be brave to this day. And you read the case, and it's brief, but it's kind of wonderful as well. It ends with sort of today ORCA maintains 68 permanent staff, a network of 68 regional supervisors, over 134 local monitoring agents, over 1,200 gender-balanced and multi-ethnic trained interviewers covering all 34 provinces, an in-house data entry facility with 50 data entry operators, 10 qualitative researchers, 4 experienced translators. I mean, that tells its own story, doesn't it? And I think probably for all of us, it's a lesson to us all. And any of us who start agencies or do our work and feel we're putting ourselves on the line, it kind of puts it all in context, really.
It's kind of intriguing to me, because if it's just a job, or you just need the work, why would you do it? And to me it's so interesting that someone would do it, because actually it matters. Because if you haven't got objective data, if you don't know what people really think, who would think that market research was political in that sense, that knowing that something is true, or knowing what people really think, is worth risking your life for? You may not have thought of that. I certainly hadn't thought of that before, but at least we get that reinforced.